Okay, so before we dive into branching, let's just talk for like 10 seconds, probably 30 seconds, about how Git works at a very, very basic level. When we make a commit, each commit gets this weird looking hash, this long series of numbers and letters that is supposed to be unique, that corresponds to the contents of a commit, plus a couple of other things. If you don't know about hashing functions, don't worry. You don't need to understand any of it in order to use Git. I'd say most people don't, who still use Git daily. I will have a video in sort of an appendix at the end of the course or towards the end that goes into some more details about how the hashing actually works, what is hashed together, what hashing algorithm is used. It's called SHA-1. Anyway, all that we need to know is that every commit has this unique hash, this unique identifier that corresponds to the commit, and each commit references at least one parent commit that came before it. So here we can see this most recent commit in blue has a commit that came before it, right? This pink one. And before that came this purpley blue one. And that happens to be the initial commit. It does not have anything before it. It does not have a parent commit. That happens the very first time you commit. So we have this linear history where one commit leads to the next, which leads to the next. But often when we're working on a real project in the real world, we need to work in multiple contexts simultaneously. So imagine I'm working, I work at some company, I'm working on a web application, and I'm trying out two different color scheme variations for a website, and I want to try them both out and figure out which one I like best. And at the same time, I also have been tasked with trying to fix a really horrible bug, but this bug is proving very difficult to solve. I'm actually needing to delete some code and comment stuff out, move stuff around to try and hunt down the bug. So it's not as simple as just fixing a typo. I have to totally destroy part of the code base to find this bug. And at the same time, one of my teammates is working on adding a new feature, a little chat bot in the bottom corner, those things that pop up and you can chat with customer service or something. It's not clear at the moment if our company wants to use that, but he's going ahead and trying it as a bit of an experiment. And then another coworker is adding some new functionality to the search bar, autocomplete, and yet another developer is doing something very different. She's doing a very experimental, radical design overhaul of our entire application layout, but it won't be presented until next month, and we don't even know if any of it will be used after next month. So, lots of different contexts. If we all worked in a linear fashion, one commit after the next, this would be practically impossible. How could we be working on separate things, some of which break other people's code, right? If I'm trying to fix a horrible bug and deleting a bunch of code, removing files, I'm just making a mess, that's going to be a big problem if somebody else is trying to add a new feature. Likewise, if someone is doing a radical experimental design change on every single view of our application, everything changes, but I'm trying to work on some minor color scheme variations, or if someone's working on adding a chat widget to the bottom right of our screen, those things need to happen in separate contexts because they have implications on one another and they really need to happen in isolation until maybe at some point we decide to incorporate changes into each other's contexts. So that is where branching comes in. That's exactly what Git branches allow us to do. Branches are a signature feature of Git, and you can kind of think of them as alternative timelines for a project. They allow us to create separate contexts whenever we want. We can try new things, we can work on multiple ideas in parallel, we can experiment, we can break stuff, and whatever we do on one branch will not impact what happens on other branches. Although we can decide to then combine branches, we call that merging, and we'll learn how to do that. But that's something we have to decide to do. Otherwise, if we make a change on one branch, the other branches do not know about it. They exist in isolation. So this allows me to make a commit and maybe make another commit on one branch, and then at any point, splinter off and try something. On this pink branch up top, I'm calling new color scheme. I could try a new color scheme out. But over here, if I switch back to this branch, none of that code comes with me, none of those new commits. So I could branch off again and work on a bug fix, but again, totally separate context. And then I could branch off even further from this bug fix branch and branch further to do an experimental redesign. So now I have at least 4 different contexts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this means that, I could be working on this, and maybe somebody else is working on this branch, and somebody else is working here, or maybe someone else is working on this purpley bluish branch in the middle and working on things, plotting ahead, while I'm still stuck here. We're all working in separate contexts. But then a very important part is being able to then combine and merge branches together when appropriate. If you work on a bug fix and you actually solve it, then you want to merge that bug fix into the main code base or into another branch. So we'll learn how to do all of this in time, but I'm going to stop talking for now. In this video, I just wanted to introduce this idea of branching, of having separate contexts